What happened when someone refused to take no for an answer? My brother crashed my wedding and started screaming that I owed him $47,000 as karmic debt for having better luck throughout our lives and tried to steal my gifts as partial repayment. My brother Dominic had always been obsessed with fairness. As kids, he'd count how many minutes each of us got on the swings and throw tantrums if someone got extra time. He kept notebooks documenting every perceived slight: who got the bigger slice of birthday cake, who mom hugged first after school, who found more eggs at Easter. Our parents thought it was just a quirky phase and praised him for his strong sense of justice. They'd make us accommodate his demands to keep the peace. When he started invoicing neighborhood kids for friendship services rendered, my parents called him entrepreneurial. I called him deranged. When Dominic was 25, he created what he called the life balance system, based on years of obsessive research into every injustice he felt like he'd suffered. He developed a point system that calculated every advantage anyone had ever received, and he used it like a weapon against me specifically. He had a running tally of how much debt I'd accrued based on the good things in my life that had happened to me. Being born first cost me 10,000 points. Getting chicken pox during the school year instead of in the middle of summer cost me 500 points. Having naturally straight teeth while he needed braces cost me 5,000 points. He presented me with an itemized bill showing I owed him 287,000 fairness points that could be paid back through money, favors, or giving him my possessions. He was completely serious and expected me to start monthly payments immediately to correct years of cosmic injustice. Dominic became completely obsessed with getting what he insisted I owed him. He'd show up at my apartment demanding compensation for random events. Once he calculated that I'd had 37 more sunny days during my college years than he did, which gave me an unfair mood advantage, so I owed him $2,000. When I started dating someone, he presented documentation showing I'd had 14% more positive interactions with potential partners because I was born in May, optimal birthday party weather, while he was born in November. He'd take things without asking as fairness corrections. My TV disappeared because he calculated I'd watched 1,847 more hours of television as a child when he had piano practice. I couldn't play piano because I was born without two of my fingers. Strangely, this never factored into his calculations. He helped himself to my clothes because mom had spent $389 more on my wardrobe over our lifetime. He'd eat food from my fridge and leave invoices showing how many more family dinners I'd enjoyed while he was at debate club, which he'd begged my parents to sign him up for. The spreadsheet got more and more deranged. He docked me points for having a better view from my bedroom window growing up. He calculated interest on every Christmas present disparity dating back to 1997. He even tried to bill me for having an easier name to spell, claiming I'd saved hundreds of hours over our lifetime not having to spell Dominic for people. I begged my parents to say something to him, but they just laughed and said sibling rivalry was healthy competition. Everything exploded when I got engaged, and Dominic demanded to be best man as compensation for me being in more family photos as a baby. When my fiancé said no, Dominic presented him with a bill for $12,000 representing all the emotional support he'd provided me that had helped me become marriageable. I told Dominic he was no longer welcome in my life until he got help. For 3 months, I had peace. I blocked his number and instructed building security not to let him up. My fiancé and I planned our wedding without a shadow looming over every decision. I thought maybe losing his sister would make him realize how insane his system was, but I underestimated his commitment to justice. He spent those months calculating how much I owed him for the pain of being cut off. He factored in lost sibling bonding time, the embarrassment of explaining my absence, even the gas money spent driving to my apartment when I wouldn't let him in. And then he showed up at my wedding ceremony uninvited and stood up during the "speak now or forever hold your peace" moment. He pulled out his phone and started reading from his spreadsheet, saying I owed him $47,000 for lifetime advantages and couldn't get married until I paid him. He'd calculated that marriage would give me even more unfair advantages like tax breaks and dual income that he didn't have. When my fiancé tried to get him to leave, Dominic started grabbing wedding gifts from the table, saying they were partial payment for what I owed. He shoved cards in his pockets and tried to wheel out the cash box. He screamed at my elderly relatives that they'd given me more birthday money over the years and they owed him retroactive payments. Security dragged him out, but he kept screaming numbers through the door. I tried to relax on my honeymoon and not think about Dominic, but little did I know the trash was taking itself out while I was in Aruba. Dominic broke into my apartment to take my wedding dress as compensation. My neighbor called the cops who arrested him for breaking and entering. He got 2 years probation and court-ordered therapy, and I got a restraining order.